Hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Things Could Be Worse. I'm your host, Baileydedrick, and today I'm doing my episode all about FOMO. If you guys listened to or watched the last episode, you would know that towards the end of it, I kind of talked about how I wanted to get into more about like how I've been feeling lately. Like last episode was a story time of what happened on like my Halloween weekend type of thing. And it was just like a super fun, lighthearted, story time type of episode, but there is some things that have been happening like in my life personally, like mentally and, socially that I kind of want to dive in deeper with and like talk to you guys about them because I feel like I haven't really opened up in a while since we had all of the Europe episodes and then we had the Halloween weekend episode. So I feel like I need to just sit down and spill how I've been feeling and hopefully be able to, talk about some things that you guys are going to be able to relate to, because I feel like the things I'm going to be talking about and some of the things that I've been feeling and experiencing are, sorry, my hair is like bothering me right now really bad. That's why I keep touching it. If you're watching visually, I feel like a lot of things I've been feeling are very universal feeling, and it's not the first time that I've felt, I'm like literally so cuddled, no, swaddled, no, what the fuck? I don't know, I'm just like, I have my blanket and I look so like comfy and cozy, and I am, so, what was I saying? It isn't my first time feeling the things and experiencing the things that I'm currently feeling and experiencing, and I honestly am kind of over it now. Like when I talked about it last week, like when I was recording last pod, I was talking about how I wanted to dive into this because I was like going through something, I was feeling like this, but I've kind of let it pass and run its course, and I still am feeling some certain type of ways, but I've been able to like analyze it and figure out why I'm feeling that way, and also figure out like a way to make myself feel better. So I feel like that's more useful than just like coming on here and complaining about the way that I've been feeling and then not have anything to like, give you like solutions or advice on how to deal with those type of feelings. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. So for starters, let's talk about how I've been feeling lately and basically what I didn't get to touch on in last episode because I ran out of time. Honestly, I've been pretty good. I feel like I've talked a little bit about how, obviously this transition period in my life has been pretty difficult just because all my friends, 99% of my friends went to college. They're at their colleges right now with all of their new friends, and they're doing so many cool, fun things. And I'm just still here in my hometown doing what I've been doing since I was pretty much 12 years old, which is kind of insane when you put it that way. But yeah. I wasn't dealing with the change that great. It wasn't like terrible, like I wasn't like going through it, but it was just definitely like hard at first. And it's still hard, but I feel like I'm kind of like finding my own routine and like figuring out how to be happy in my circumstance and in my situation, because at the end of the day, this is what I wanted. Like I didn't want to go to school, and at this point, the only reason that I would want to go to school is for like the social aspect, which is not ideal. That's not really like a good thing to do, like to waste all that money going to school. I mean, you're not wasting money because you're also going to school, which like a degree is important, but like nobody should go to college with the only reason for wanting to go to college for the social aspect, for the partying, for the friends. Like that's not a healthy thing to do, and I feel like a lot of people do that, but I personally can't. I don't want to do that. So yeah, right away when my friends left, I was definitely dealing with some like loneliness and some like FOMO, like some feelings of FOMO. And today we're going to be talking about FOMO, and we're going to be talking about feeling like you're not living your life to the fullest, or feeling like there's this pressure on you to do all of these things that other people are doing. And regardless of if you even want to do them or not, you feel like you should, and you feel like if you're not, then you're not living your life the correct way. I feel like there's so much pressure, and FOMO comes in so many different like shapes and sizes. That's definitely not like the right, metaphor, whatever to use, but I feel like FOMO can creep in at times when you're like not expecting it. Like you can like make the decision to like not do something, and then like an hour later you're like pissed off at yourself, you're regretting your decision of not going. Like it can be such like a weird feeling a weird thing, and it's very hard to deal with, especially when you're in like high school and college and stuff. So that's pretty much what we're gonna be talking about. I guess I didn't really say that in the beginning. I just like said I was gonna talk about how I've been feeling, but for reference, I've been feeling some FOMO. At least like last week I've been feeling some FOMO. I've been feeling like I could do more with my life, like I have wasted potential, all of that type of shit. So that's what we're diving into. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about how like I've been dealing with like this change the last couple of months, and I feel like I've definitely gotten to a point where I'm not like constantly thinking about it or like regretting my decision of not going to school. Like at first I was like, oh no, like should I have went to school? Like did I make the wrong decision? Like what, like did I fuck up my life? And now that some time has passed and I've been able to live my life on my own and, you know, start doing the things that I actually love and care about and, you know, want to focus on, I've been able to kind of think more positively about the fact that, you know, just because I'm feeling a little bit sad does not mean that I would be happier if I was in a different situation. And I think that's really important to realize. And one of like the biggest like points that I want to hit on in this episode is just because you're not happy in your particular situation does not mean you would be happier in a different situation. Yes, you can always like strive for your dream life and be 100% happy all the time and, you know, just live your life to the full, all of that. Like you can make your dream life, quote unquote, but you're never going to be happy 100% of the time. And I think that's really important to realize. And I feel like, well, duh, you're not going to be happy all the time. But I feel like sometimes we expect ourselves to just be okay in the situations that we choose or whether we don't choose them or not. Like, you know, you say, this is such like a weird way to start this episode off. I promise I have like points that I'm going to hit on that actually are like not scheduled. What is the word? Outlined. I don't know. I have points that I'm going to hit on. It's going to be more structured, but right now I'm just kind of like brain dumping. No matter what is going on in anybody's life, like you're still going to go through things and you might look over at somebody else and be like, they have it all figured out. They know what they're doing. They have good friends around them. They have a good support system. They're having fun on the weekends. They're successful. You might look at that person and be like, they have it all together. Like they are who I want to be. But that person is dealing with so many things and, you know, personal battles, social battles, work battles. They're dealing with so many different things that you don't even know about because you're not in their shoes. So I think it's really important to remember like the phrase, like the grass isn't always greener. We can sometimes find ourselves like in these situations where we're just sitting like self-loathing, thinking about our situation and how much better it could be if we were in a situation like that person, you know, that was just like blank, whoever you're looking at, aspiring to be, you know, envious of, you think that your life would be so much better if you were them or if you had their life or if you had their friends, but that's not the fucking case. They're dealing with shit. Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, like it's so hard to grasp this idea, but literally no one is happy. Like 100% of the time. Like it isn't possible. So I always reminded myself this whenever I was like thinking about my friends in college and how much fun they were probably having and how many new friends they have and all these cool opportunities and stuff that they're doing. I would sit there and be like, you know what? I wish that I wasn't in my situation. I wish I was in their situation and I wish that whatever. But they're dealing with so many things that I'm not. You know, they are going to school, which I'm very grateful to be in a position right now where I don't have to go to school because I've never liked school. I don't like learning in that format. I'd rather learn on my own and choose, you know, the things that I'm interested in and learn about things that I'm passionate about versus going to school for a degree that I don't even know if I want that degree right now because I'm 18 years old and I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. So it's just, you know what I mean? Like they're dealing with homework and projects and essays and work on top of like, yes, they're getting all these fun experiences, but they're putting in the work to be able to have these fun experiences. Like they're not just living there carefree and like hanging out with their friends, which is what you see on social media. They're like going through their own shit. They're also probably missing their families and they're missing their hometowns and they're just missing their dogs and their cats. Like they're going through their own shit that I'm not, and vice versa. So even if I was in their position, I'd still be feeling, you know, 100% like, or not 100% happy or content or like comfortable with my life. And I know it probably seems so obvious and you're probably like, duh, Bailey, like, duh, like everybody knows that. And I do believe that that is a pretty straightforward concept, but I feel like a lot of us forget it. So I wanted to reiterate how important it is to realize that you're not going to be happy in any situation unless you are happy with yourself and doing things that you love and that you care about, and, you know, fulfilling your passions, and like, you know, just do it. Like, there's so much inner work and personal work that you have to do to be happy in your situation, no matter what situation that you're in. I don't know if any of that made sense, but like I said, I needed to have a little brain dump moment. I'm going to move into some more structured things. And I only wrote like a few things down. But I feel like they're good, and honestly, like the way that I wrote them is good, so I'm honestly just gonna read it. So the first idea kind of that I had when I started thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this episode was the fact that social media and being able to see everything that people are doing makes it really easy to feel like you're not doing enough or having enough fun, and you can oftentimes find yourself getting sad over your individual life and wishing that it was different, whether you're looking at a single person, like a particular person, you're like, my life would be so much better if I were them, or if I was in their situation, or whatever the case may be. I feel like being able to access everybody and what they're doing 24/7 is so fucking unhealthy, and I feel like it's making all of us like go insane and feel like our lives are shit, even when like they're not at all, compared to like a lot of people. And I don't mean to like be like insensitive. Like, if you're going through something really shitty, I'm not trying to like minimize that and tell you like, oh, other people have it worse. I'm just saying, like, we can feel sometimes that our worlds are falling apart, that our lives are ass, and like everything sucks. But that's not the case. We're just choosing to sit in this negative space and think everything is negative, and all these negative things keep happening to us. And I hate to break it to you, but when you sit in those negative energies, negative things are going to keep happening to you. It's literally all about your mindset. I watched this fucking like 20-minute video the other day on YouTube, and it was basically about manifestation, but not even like how to manifest or what you should be manifesting or like what's the right and wrong things to manifest. It was literally like talking about how our mind and our bodies were one and we split into two, and now we're in like this dual consciousness. Like I was deep in this fucking video, guys. It was not good. Actually it was good because it gave me a whole different outlook. You can choose to believe in this shit or not. I don't even know if I 100% like believe that this is really what's happening, but there is a lot of like truth behind it, because if you think about just like our frequencies and the fact that our bodies are made up of energy and energy cannot be created or destroyed. I sound like a fucking hippie right now, but like there's so many things. Like, we're made out of little atoms, and that chair over there is made out of atoms, and that tree is made out of atoms, and your dog is made out of atoms. Like, we're all made up. We're everything is made out of the same shit. Like, how are we all not one? And we technically are. Like, that's what you have to realize. We're all one. Like, we're all a part of this universe. We are the fucking universe, and you can make your life whatever you want it to be. And I know you're gonna be like, Bailey, you sound insane, you sound crazy, and I don't totally know what I'm talking about, but like, I truly believe the energies that you sit in and the things that you say to yourself and the things that you like believe about yourself are going to be true. They are going to come true. If you're always listening to sad music and you're thinking negative and you're like self-loathing all the time, you're going to continue to have bad things happen to you, and you're going to continue to not be happy, and you're going to continue to sit in this fucking negative energy because you're not doing anything to get out of it. Whereas if you sit in a positive energy and you believe that you are worthy of good things and good people and you deserve for good things to be happening to you, you will get good things. It's not going to happen overnight, but it truly makes such a difference, like just switching your mindset. And I've talked about this before, but I feel like even I say this all the time and I don't do it. I sit here and I complain and I talk, like, not talk shit about people, but like I talk shit about myself and my life. And I feel like I should be doing so much more and I could be doing better. And I just sit in this negative fucking space. And then I get fucking even more mad when nothing changes. And it's like, what am I doing to change this course? What am I doing to make myself more positive? And then I sit back and I realize I'm not doing anything. I enjoy sometimes feeling negative. Like, I feel like it's a comforting feeling, and I feel like it's fucked up to say, but like, I feel like a lot of you guys can relate. Like, it's kind of nice to complain. It's kind of nice to just sit there and fucking feel lazy and unmotivated. Like, it kind of just feels fucking good when you're exhausted and you're tired and you're genuinely sad about yourself or like whatever's going on. It feels good to like sit there and be like a little negative Nancy, but it doesn't feel good. You know, it doesn't feel good. Like, when you get out of that, you're like, that was terrible. and I can't do that again. Okay, somehow I'm going off on another tangent that I didn't plan on talking about, but again, I feel like this is important. We need to flip our energy. We need to flip our mindset. Like, stop fucking complaining all the time. Stop being, and I'm talking to myself too. I'm looking in the fucking viewfinder of this camera. Like, stop fucking complaining all the time. Stop being so negative. Stop listening to sad music. Stop, letting yourself fall into bad habits. Like, actively try to change your life. And like, I'm not saying just like, oh, like little things, like, change your fucking life. You can change your life. You can wake up every day and decide to do something different with your life. Like, I don't care what situation you're in, you can change your life in a split second. You can choose, like, you have choices every day. Make sure that you are making the right ones. Damn, sometimes I'd be turning into like a motivational podcaster, and then I like take a step back and I'm like, wow, where did that come from? But honestly, facts on my part. What was I even talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about like social media. It's so easy to see on social media, like whether it's Snapchat stories or whether it's Instagram or whether it's TikToks, like it's so easy to fall into this trap of feeling FOMO and feeling like you're missing out on life and like you're not doing enough, because we shouldn't have access to this much information. We should not know, like, you should not be able to look at a map of everybody you have on Snapchat and see exactly where they are, what they're doing, who they're with. That is not normal. That is not healthy. That is damaging to anybody. I don't care how, like, it's weird. It's really weird when you sit back and think about it. In like the olden days, my mom's not gonna like that I said that, but like when my mom was a kid, like if she chose not to do something on a particular night, like say on Friday, she was feeling pretty tired, she didn't really feel like going out with any friends, she just stayed home. She got to sit at home and be in silence, be peaceful, be content with the fact that she chose to sit at home, because she's not sitting at home on her phone looking through her friends' Snap stories all night, looking at how much fun they're having. Like, they just got to enjoy being alone and like not have visual evidence of what they're missing out on. Like, it is so easy to feel FOMO nowadays because everything is posted online. You can see everybody and what they're doing and how much fun they're having and what you could be doing, but you're not. And I feel like it's so damaging, and I don't know what we can do about it, because it's like social media is not going to go away. Like, Snapchat's not going away. This is not ever going to go away now that we have it. Like, it is going to be constantly, a thing, like people documenting their lives, posting it real time or after the fact. Like, it is going to be a thing, and it's like inevitable. So I feel like we really need to like figure out as a society, as a generation or whatever, how to get a grip on this, because I've been hurt so many times by fucking Snapchat stories, you guys. Like, I'm not even talking about recently. I'm talking about like back in middle school or high school. You'd ask somebody to hang out and they'd, not answer. They'd be busy. Like, I definitely had some like friend group dramas and, feeling like I didn't really belong in friend groups that I was in, dealing with not being invited to things or feeling excluded or just feeling like you're not as close to the girls as like other girls are, like there's so much drama. There's so much drama in friend groups in like middle school and high school, and honestly even in college after like visiting and like seeing, it's a lot. But I would like ask somebody to hang out, or I'd text the group chat, or it's been done so many times. You guys know what I'm talking about. You hit somebody up to hang out, they say they can't hang out, or they say that they're busy, or they say that their grandparents are in town, or they say that they have plans with their brother or their sister or their mom or whatever the fucking case. And then 2 hours later, you're on Snapchat and you scroll over to the Snap map to see where everybody's at, because what the fuck? Why is that a thing? Why is Snap? I actually hate Snap map. I hate it. These girls that said they couldn't hang out are together all of a sudden. Like, what is that all about? Like, what the fuck? I asked you guys to hang out and there's visual proof that you guys are hanging out without me now. So it's like, that is so damaging, which if I didn't have a phone, ignorance is bliss, baby. Ignorance is bliss. I wish that I didn't know they were hanging out without me. That would have made me feel a lot better. It would have saved my feelings a lot of times. And yes, maybe it helps you figure out who your true friends are and who you should keep being friends with. But like, damn, I didn't need to be hurt that many times over like missing out on an invite. Fuck no. Okay, sorry. I just try to get up because if you're watching visually, there's like a sun glare happening right here, like across my lap. And I wanted to see if I could like shut my blinds and change that, but it didn't really do anything. So that was kind of a waste of my time. But basically, yeah, what I was saying is the presence of social media and being able to document your entire Friday night on your private story so that all of your friends can watch every single event that happened that night unfold real time is so unhealthy. And I would really honestly be curious to ask my mom, like, how much FOMO she dealt with, like, in high school. Like, did you even, like, can you even have FOMO if you're not seeing or aware of the things that are going on without you? Like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think that my parents had to deal with FOMO like we do now. And obviously FOMO's always been a thing because, like, if there was plans and you, like, deliberately made the decision not to go, you're still, like, sitting there, like, knowing that the event is going on and, like, that you're missing out. But I feel like it was not at the same level that it's at today. Which brings me to my next point. I wanted to look up what the definition of FOMO even is, because I know FOMO is the fear of missing out, but, like, what does it mean? Like, what is the actual dictionary definition so that we can, like, analyze it a little bit more, figure it out, whatever. So the Google definition for FOMO is anxiety that an exciting or interesting event may be currently happening elsewhere, often aroused by posts seen on social media. So yes, I believe that this is true. I believe that that's a good definition, but I also feel like we should dive deeper into it because social media as a whole doesn't really make sense. I also saw a few other things talking about how it's like seeing posts on, I don't know, to me, posts on social media sounds like, I don't know, the way that this definition was put, it's like happening elsewhere. Like exciting or interesting events are happening elsewhere, aroused by posts on social media. To me, that's like, oh, you know, influencers are posting about an event that they're at, because that's like happening elsewhere. And like you're seeing that post on social media. But for me, FOMO comes really down to like things that are personally related to me. Like, yes, you can obviously be envious of people on social media, like posting their free vacation in Turks and Caicos on like a private island with a bunch of influencers and fun people and free drinks and free makeup and all of that. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. You can be envious of that and like wish that that was your life. But I don't feel like you get FOMO from that. I feel like FOMO comes from like your friends, your social circles, like your like actually realistic things that you could be doing that you aren't, or that could be a possibility if like your life was a little bit different or you made a different decision or whatever the case may be. I feel like FOMO is way more personally related to you than what that definition makes it seem like. So yeah, I feel like FOMO really boils down to things that are happening in our close friends and peers' lives, whether that's just like a random fucking person, peer. I don't actually know the definition of peer. I think it's like people your age, like people you're with. I don't know. You know what I mean though. I know what I mean, but I don't exactly know the definition of what a peer is. But like things that are happening to them, the things that they're doing, the things that they're experiencing, and whatever the case may be, we aren't experiencing them. Whether we weren't invited or we chose not to go, or you know something came up, we had another commitment we had to like deal with. Like whatever the case may be, like I think that's where FOMO comes from, and I feel like the definition kind of like skips over the object of how it's like closely and personally related to you, and that's why you're affected by it. That's why you feel like you're missing out or whatever, because like you could very well be there in a different world, like in an alternate universe where things are just like a little bit different. You could be there, but you're not. I don't know if that makes sense. So I've kind of explained what FOMO is and how it's been affecting me and how it's affected me in the past, and you know why it may affect you as well. How do we deal with FOMO? How do we, you know, distract ourselves? How do we overcome that feeling? Because it sucks. Like you just sit there and you feel like a fucking loser. Whether, I actually don't know. Sometimes you feel like a loser. Sometimes you just feel like, I don't know. I always felt like, I don't know how to put it. I guess just like a loser. You feel like a loser. I wrote down a few things, like very simple things, like little tips that have helped me like in the past when I know that I'm sitting at my house, all my friends are having fun, whether, you know, I've had FOMO when I was like sick before. I've been like ill, like unable to leave the house ill, and like all my friends are out having fun and I can't be there because I'm ill, and I still feel like a loser. Like I feel like, because like which I shouldn't, because it's like, you're sick. You cannot go out and have fun right now. Like, there's no other option than to sit in your bed. But like, you still feel FOMO. So I'm going to give you guys a few quick little tips on things that I've done in the past that like little simple tips, okay, that have helped. So number one is keep yourself busy. I feel like this is the most important thing. Do not sit in your bed. Like, if all your friends are out, or maybe you don't have any friends and that's why you're dealing with FOMO, but you're seeing other people that do have friends. Whatever the case may be, whatever reason you're feeling this FOMO, do not sit in your bed or sit on your couch and just scroll through Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok all night looking at what everybody else is doing, seeing how much fun everybody else is having without you. Don't do that. And I know that's the easy thing to do. And when all your friends are out and you're not, or whatever the case may be, it feels good and it feels, you're interested. You want to keep checking in on how everybody's night is going and what you're missing out on. It's like an addiction. It's like a painful addiction. Like, I'm kind of talking more about like if you weren't invited to something, or you aren't, a part of, I don't know. It's just like, it's damaging. It's literally self-harm to not be invited to something that you want to be at, and then look at all the posts constantly and like check in and like check the snap map. It is a form. It's like literally an addiction, but it is harming. It is self-harming. Like, it's not good for you. So you need to keep yourself busy and not do that shit. You can't do that shit, okay? Just try to find things to keep yourself busy. Look at like old hobbies and start doing them, or, journal. Like, I feel like a good time for like personal reflection is when you're feeling this type of way, when you feel like whenever you're sitting there at home, you're alone, you're bored, you're feeling like you're missing out on something. That is the best time to do personal, reflection and figure out why you're feeling the way that you are. So just like find little things, whether it's knitting or like watching a movie or cooking or baking or going for a walk, or, going and hanging out with your mom or something, or like literally anything, going to the store, just like walking around the grocery store, whatever it is. Like, keep yourself busy to distract yourself, because you can't expect to feel any bit better about whatever situation is happening if you're just sitting there like just like allowing yourself to be sad that you're not having fun, and you're just like sitting there looking through all the pictures and videos of people having fun. Like, that's not gonna help. The next tip kind of goes back to another point that I made earlier, flipping our negative into positive thinking. If you are, feeling some certain type of way, you're feeling sad, you're being all negative, you want to be out with people, but you're not for whatever reason, take that time to be alone and like honestly just like lie to yourself. Be like, I am choosing to be alone tonight. I'm choosing to have a night to myself, to do some self-care, to be independent, to whatever. Just lie to yourself, literally gaslight yourself into believing that this was your decision to be alone, and then take advantage of being alone. Recharge your social battery, take a bath, read a book, I don't know. You know what I mean? Do some self-care, relax. Just gaslight the fuck out of yourself into believing that this was your decision. And like sometimes I believed it. Like, oh, it's okay. Like, I didn't even want to do anything tonight. Like, I wanted to be at home. Like, it works. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if that's healthy to like gaslight yourself, but it works. I'm not gonna lie here. Okay, the final little tip that I wrote down, I don't know if these are that helpful, but like these are just, like I said, simple little things that can help. Realize that even if you were there, you probably would not be having as much fun as you think you would have in this particular moment. This brings me to my next point. Whenever I have been feeling, some FOMO about not being in college or missing out on all of the fun things that other people my age are doing, I have to keep reminding myself of the person that I was when I did have unlimited access to plans, when I had unlimited access to friends, when I had literally too many friends to even balance. Like, I'm not saying this out of like, oh, I had so many friends. Like, I have no fucking friends now, so don't think I'm like bragging about having a lot of friends. No friends currently. We're working on that. I'm just saying I had a huge friend group. I got along with a lot of people, and there was always somebody that I could hit up to find something to do if I really wanted to. But now, I mean, technically I still, like, there is people, but it's like, it's not the same. It's not as like, I don't have as many opportunities, right? But I think about the person that I was when I had all of those plans and I was drained. I wanted to be literally alone. I had to force myself to go to friend group like events and things towards like the end of the school year. I was just drained. Like I wanted my personal space. There were so many other things I wanted to focus on than just like being social at that point, like last year. I wanted time to focus on my personal growth and the person that I wanted to be. I would say yes to plans because I felt like I needed to, and then I wouldn't enjoy being there. I'd want to go home the second that I got there. And I hated myself for this because I was like, dude, it's not about the people. Like, I love my fucking friends. Like, I want to be around them, but like, why am I not having any fun at these social events, at these parties, at these little hangout sessions? Like, it's not that I was miserable. Like, I fucking love my friends, like I said. Like, it's not about the people or whatever. It was just that I desperately was overran socially. I don't know if that's a fucking word, but like I was doing too much that I was drained, and I desperately needed to go home and be alone for a while to recharge my social battery and to just like take time on myself and be myself by myself. So yes, while all of my friends seem to be having so much fun with their new friends and constantly doing something, partying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and living their best lives and like living to the fullest, that isn't necessarily what I need or even want right now. And I'm being fucking delusional sitting here with all of this FOMO, thinking about the fact that if I was in that situation, I would want to come home. And I know that for a fucking fact. I would not be able to keep up with this like college social lifestyle. I can't. For what I want to do right now and the goals that I have for myself and my priorities, I couldn't fucking do that. I would want to come home and literally do exactly what I'm doing. So I keep trying to remind myself that even if I was there, like I can fucking visit. Whenever I want to visit, I have the luxury of visiting, and I can and I could. And I just haven't been because it's like I don't know why. I don't fucking know why. It's like, oh, you want to fucking experience college so bad, go visit your friends that are at college. Like they're at college right fucking now, like book a fucking flight, meet their friends, hang out with them, meet people, live that fucking life, like live it. But I'm not. And that's how I know that deep down I don't want that life. And I just have to keep reminding myself that, because like even when I visit like my friends at college for like a weekend, I like by Sunday, I need to go home. I want to go home. I need to recharge. I need to be alone. And when you're living in a fucking dorm with 1, 2, 3 other girls, or even like in an apartment or a house, you have a roommate. Like it's too expensive to live alone. Like yourself, like it's, you have to live with people in college for the most part. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I know deep down I don't want to do that. So I need to stop like letting myself be delusional, because it's hurting myself. Like I'm being delusional thinking that that would be the time of my life when like, yes, it would be fun, but that's not for me, bro. That isn't for me. I feel like part of this is the fact that I matured very fast. And I hate the fact that I matured fast. I hate that I feel like an old soul at the ripe age of 18 years old. But I feel like I grew up really fucking fast. And for whatever reason, like I have no interest. Obviously, partying is fun. Like, meeting new people is fun. Like, living your life carefree and, like, not giving a fuck about anything and just, like, literally, like just trudging through every week to be able to go to the bar Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, so much fucking fun, right? But that's not where my life, like, that's not what I want my life to be right now. I'm young and I'm like capable of making whatever life I want, and I have like literally the opportunity in my hand right now, like with what I'm doing and like what I've created for myself. Why would I throw that away? Not that I would necessarily have to throw it away, but it would not be my priority anymore if I was in school. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. And I think a part of it is because people see, you know, there's TikTokers that are in college. There's YouTubers that are in college. There's YouTubers with full-time nursing jobs. Anna Hyde, I'm talking to you. I fucking love her. I literally keep up with all of like the New York influencers. Like, I mean, she's moved to Charleston now, but like I keep up with those New York girlies. Like when I met Anna, I met her at the Revolve Coachella Festival like 2 years ago. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. Anna Hyde. She's literally adorable, but she literally worked like a full-time nursing job in New York City. Like she was a pediatric nurse and doing YouTube and TikTok. And it's like, how? Like literally how? Because I'm fucking swamped and you're doing that. So it's not that I couldn't, and I couldn't still make it a priority. But like, she really loves and cares about that, and like, you know, it made it easier to like do that. But I couldn't, like, I don't have any passion for school right now, or I don't have any, you know what I mean? So it's like very hard to believe that I could keep the same level of energy and effort into what I'm doing if I was also going to school, spending that much time with friends and partying and, not being the healthiest in my body and stuff. It's definitely doable, and I don't want to sit here and be like, oh my God, I have the busiest job in the whole world. Like, I actually hate the shit that I've been seeing on TikTok recently. Like, so out of touch. Like, influencers are so out of touch, and I know I'm one of you, and I shouldn't say that, but you're fucking out of touch. I complain all the fucking time about like editing my videos, editing my podcast. Like, I complain all the time, but I will be the first motherfucker to say I have one of the easiest, best jobs in the world because I'm doing something that I love, and because like I get to inspire people and I get to make an impact, and it's so fucking cool. Like, I literally have the best job in the world, in my opinion. I have the best job in the whole entire world. And yes, there are some challenging parts and there is some time consuming parts and whatever. But bro, this shit is so fucking nice compared to like 95% of other jobs out there. So when I hear influencers complain about like all this shit, like it makes me ashamed to be an influencer. I hate calling myself an influencer, but y'all fucking know, like, that's just what I am. That's all I am. But it's honestly hard. And I feel so bad for any time. Now that I've seen people like be completely out of touch about influencing as a job and like all of that, like I feel horrible for ever publicly complaining about anything related to social media and like my work online. Like, I feel like a fucking idiot because if I sounded how some of these people are sounding talking about influencing as a job, like I'm so embarrassed. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I will say though, I want to give myself a little credit because it isn't like easy. Like, I'm still putting in work, and I don't want to like, people already discredit what I do as work enough. Like, people think I'm a fucking, like, I don't know. People think that what I do is super easy and like completely discredit. Like, anytime I talk to somebody in like real life, like I meet somebody and they like ask me about YouTube and ask me about what I do, they like, it's like a joke. It's like a joke to everybody. And it's like, oh, you don't even actually work. Like, you just get paid hella money for doing nothing. And it's like the amount of money I make versus the amount of work that I do, fucking unreal. I think it's ridiculous. I don't understand it. I'm so grateful, but I'll give you that. Like, that, the payoff, the work versus payoff. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but like a video can take me, like a YouTube video can take me anywhere from like 6 to 12 hours to edit, which I'm not saying like that's the hardest thing in the world, but it's like I am putting in work, and I have not only a YouTube channel where I upload once a week, I have a podcast that I completely do on my own. I do everything on my own. People like have editors for their YouTube videos, they have editors for their podcast, they have producers for their podcast. I do not have a single person doing any work for me except for my management team. Not my management team, it's literally one manager, and like I have an accountant and I have a lawyer to like look over contracts and like work out brand deals. But as far as like the work that I'm posting online, it's all me. It's 100% me. I do it all on my own. So I do feel sometimes very shitty about myself because of the way that people discredit what I do on social media. But then it's like, no wonder people fucking think that way, because there's these influencers talking about how like them filming 2 TikToks and like going to their nail appointment is like a super busy day. So like I get it why people discredit it, but it just kind of sucks when you truly are passionate about this shit and I put so much time and effort into it, and like people just think that it's like a fucking, like, I don't do anything. Like, it's literally so annoying. It's also really bad for my mental health because I feel like I can have such a productive day in like my terms of like work and shit. Like, I can get a video filmed, I can get a video edited, I can like respond to emails and, plan out content and like be very productive for me personally and like what I need to work on. And at the end of the day, I feel like I've done nothing because of the way that other people view what I do. I feel like even on my most productive days that I've done nothing because I'm just at home and I'm working at home from home, and there's nothing to show for the work that I'm doing besides a video that I post online that people don't understand the work that went into it. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm literally ranting. I don't know where I was at, honestly. I think I was talking about the fact that if I was in college, I wouldn't be being able to put as much time and effort into what I do. And right now, this is what I care about, and this is, what I want my priority to be. So I need to remind myself that whenever I'm feeling FOMO or feeling like shit for not being at school or not giving myself like the college experience right now, I need to realize that that isn't even what I want, and I wouldn't even be happy doing that. My legs hurt really bad from being bent all episode. I need to like re-situate myself. But yeah, I don't really know where this episode ended off. I feel like I've been talking for so long, and I don't know if it was helpful. I hope it was helpful. I feel like it was relatable, probably. I don't know if I gave you that many like tips or good advice. Like I literally just talked and complained, which literally the fucking first thing that I said in this episode was like, we need to flip our mindset and stop complaining. But I don't think I was complaining. I think that I'm just genuinely saying how I feel about certain things. So I think there's a difference. So yeah, I guess there's my FOMO episode. That went in so many different directions. Like I was not expecting this episode to be the way that it was. But yeah, I feel like when it comes down to it, do things that make you happy. Say yes to the things you want to say yes to. Don't just say yes to things because you feel like you should or everybody else is. Like, do things that make you happy and that you genuinely want to do, because if you're saying yes for other people and like what you think that they would want you to do, you're not going to be happy. And also on that other end, like, don't feel like shit for like not doing things that other people are doing, because everybody's living their own life. I always stress like live your life to the fullest and like do as much as you can and like whatever, do it while you're young. But also at the same time, like if that's not going to make you happy, like if doing the most isn't going to make you genuinely happy, like don't do it. Do what's going to make you happy. FOMO can suck, but I hope some of the advice that I gave and like things that I talked about kind of help. I think more than anything, it just helps to know that other people relate to you. And like if you feel this type of way or you've been feeling this type of way or you have in the past, like just know that this is a common thing for fucking everyone. Even like the most popular girl at your school that seems to always have plans and always have things that's going on, like she feels this way too sometimes. It's just like a universal fucking thing because of social media and because of how like easy it is to access what everybody is doing at any point. So moral of the story is I'm sorry, and that FOMO sucks, and you just have to push through, and this feeling isn't gonna last forever. And basically no matter what situation you're still gonna be feeling some type of FOMO. So that fucking sucks, but that's the way life is, I guess. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I know it was fucking all over the place. I really thought this was going to be like a super structured, like good advice. I really don't know what it was. Let me know your oh my God. Let me know your comments. If you're watching visually, comment down below what you thought about this episode. What are some points that I talked about or like parts of the podcast that I talked about that really stood out to you or that you like really hit home or whatever. And then if you're listening on Spotify, I'll leave up a little question box, like, where they have like polls and shit. Like if you scroll up, there's polls, like answer the questions on there. Let me know. Same thing. How you felt, what hit home, whatever. I love you guys. Please rate and review the pod also if you're listening on Spotify and Apple. I don't know. I'm so delusional right now. I love y'all so much. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching visually. I always like forget to plug things, then I'm like frantically plugging them at the end. But yeah, I love you guys. See you next Wednesday.